Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to share with you my Smith & Wesson 649 stainless 357 Magnum. Now, as always with firearms, you want to make sure that you're safe. You know if they're loaded or not. And in this case, we are unloaded. And in fact, we are pointing at a safe direction. Either way, we're double covered there. So, 649. It's a J-frame 357 all-steel firearm. Fixed sights. Sights are very limited though. As you'll notice, it's pretty hard to line up that little sight, especially under stress. So this is a close-range firearm. What this holds purpose in my firearms battery is a close range or a backup. Now, in many cases, for a backup, you'd want to have a firearm that's under 16 ounces empty. In this case, this firearm is about 22 ounces, so it's a bit heavier. But trust me, with 357 rounds, that makes it much easier to fire, and it makes it much more accurate. Now, I'm a Glock guy, and a 1911 guy, and a car. I like the semi-autos to carry, usually for defense. But one thing I found out, and I carry a firearm anywhere from 12 to 16 hours a day in my career. And what I found out is, even though it's a 5-shot revolver with a thicker cylinder, because of the roundness of the cylinder, it's actually more comfortable to conceal a J-frame than it is a small Glock like a Glock 26 or a Glock 27, or even the car PM series, PM9s, PM40s. I'm not sure why that works that way, but the roundness of this firearm, and it's pretty thin in all the other aspects other than the cylinder, it does not pinch your side, it does not pinch your ankle. It's very comfortable to conceal, and to conceal all day long. And honestly, it's easier for me at least to conceal than my semi-autos as far as appearance-wise. It's easier to conceal overall. Now, one of the reasons why I bought this firearm is I really love the trigger. Think about it. If you have a double action only semi-auto, you have a long, smooth trigger pull. Same thing with this firearm. You have the long, smooth trigger pull. Again, we're in a safe direction. And it's easy to control. You can predict this firearm. You can even stack the trigger pretty quickly. You can pull it back to where it's ready to fire, fire. Stack it, fire. You can feel that in that long, smooth trigger action pull. You can see I'm doing it every time. So line up sights, fire. Pull back, line up sights, fire. Also, with the 649 or the Bodyguard series that Smith & Wesson calls these, you do have the option for a long shot to cock that trigger. Now the trigger, when it's cocked, is even nicer than a really good tuned 1911 trigger. It takes very little effort at all. Again, remember, we're pointing it in a safe direction. We've got mounds around us here. But just barely pop it and that trigger goes. So double action, nice and smooth, about 10 pounds all the way through. Or you can stack it and get it right where you want. Or if you need be, you can cock it. And when you cock it, that trigger is very positive, very reliable, but also does not take any effort at all. About maybe 5 millimeters. Reloading, again, you only have 5 rounds of ammunition, but that's okay. It's 5 rounds of 357 Magnum. So it's going to get the job done. If you do need to reload, there are speed loaders, and I happen to use speed strips, which work much better for me. I don't know why the speed loaders, I'm not as fast as I am with the speed strips. As you can see, I replaced it with a Packmere grip, simply because the grip's a little wider here. That makes it recoil much less. Again, this is an all-steel gun, so unlike the Scadium or the aluminum frame Smith & Wessons, it does not kick nearly as much. Now, keep in mind, it still has quite the burp. It has quite a recoil and quite a jump, but it does not sting your hand. It does not hurt. It's very nice and smooth, and when it recoils, it doesn't hurt you quite a bit like some of the lighter 357s will do. Quite surprised by this one. I didn't think I'd like it, didn't think I'd carry it, but this is on my EDC or my everyday carry more often than you would think. Very good firearm. I highly recommend it to anybody. Thank you and have a great day.